Hello students of class 10. Hope you all are fine. Last day we have learned about respiration in plants. Today we will learn about respiration in animals. Animals have certain respiratory organs for performing the process of respiration, and aerobic type of respiration is taking part in plants. I told you last day about aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Different respiratory organs which are present in animals include trachea, skin, gills, lungs. In protozoan like amoeba, the respiration takes place by diffusion of gases through the cell membrane. Different animals have different modes of respiration. We will learn about few types of modes of respiration in our class. First is respiration by body surface. In the unicellular organisms like amoebic bacteria and protistans, paramecium, this respiration or respiratory gases diffuse between the surrounding medium and the cell across the plasma membrane. In case of skin respiration, that is also known as cutaneous respiration, the respiration takes place by means of skin, by the surface of the skin. It takes place in some annelids, crustaceans, amphibians, and it takes place both in water and air. Buccopharyngeal lining, this is also called buccopharyngeal respiration. It is seen in frogs and toads. Gills, I think you know the gill respiration, that is known as bronchial respiration, that takes place through the gills and is found in many annelids, crustaceans, molluscs, insect larvae, fishes. Lungs, respiration through lungs is known as pulmonary respiration. It is found in snails, some amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals, etc. Trachea, basically the insect respire by means of trachea, like grasshopper, cockroach, housefly, mosquito. They have very tiny or very small holes. Understood? That is known as spiracles on their body surface, and the air tube called trachea, that is known as those are the respiratory organ of these organisms. Respiratory organ, whether it can be skin, trachea, gills or lungs, they have three common features. First, they have a large surface area to get enough oxygen. Number two, they have thin walls for easy diffusion and exchange of the respiratory gases. And all the respiratory organs like skin, gills, lungs, they have rich blood supply for making the transport of the gases easier. Okay, and these animals live in water. They use the oxygen which is dissolved in the water. From these oxygen, by means of gills, they perform the process of respiration. Now in this portion we will know about the respiration in amoeba and such type of organisms like amoeba. Amoeba, is a single celled animal. The volume of the body is very small, and the oxygen can easily be transported, or oxygen can easily be spread from one portion of the body to the other. This oxygen brings about enzymatically assisted oxygen of carbohydrate, fat and even proteins, and breaks them into simpler compounds. The energy which is liberated during this process, that is stored in the high energy bond of adenosine triphosphate or ATP. But in case of animals, what happens? Like grasshopper, fish and man, diffusion cannot take place in quick delivery organs. Like in quick delivery of oxygen to all parts of the body can't take place. In large animals, the oxygen travels through a very large distance, and that oxygen has to reach each and every cell of the body. So there is a proper circulatory system or blood circulatory system through which this oxygen can be transported to all parts of the body. In human, the respiratory pigment is known as hemoglobin. It has a very high affinity for oxygen. That pigment is present in the RBC, and carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen. So it's mostly transported, and it is mostly transported in dissolved form in our body. Next, respiration in fish. Fishes perform the process of respiration, by means of gills. Highly vascularized respiratory structure called gill pouches are present on either side of the lateral wall of the pharynx. And the number of the gill pouches will vary in different fishes. That gill pouches will open internally into the pharynx by large aperture. That adjacent gill pouches, one gill pouch and another gill pouch, will be completely separated from each other by a vertical gill septum. If you have seen the head of a fish in your home before your mother cooks, observe carefully the gills. You can easily understand that a gill septum is there, which is separating each and every column of the gill, and that is covered, that gill septum on both the anterior and the posterior side is covered by epithelium, which is horizontally folded, and it forms gill filaments. And these gill filaments, which is beared by the gill septum, that is known as the gill. What does the gill consist of? The gill consists of blood vessels and different types of nerves. The oxygen rich blood means the blood which is comprised of oxygen, that is oxygenated blood, from the gills. It is carried to various tissues of the body. In these tissues, the oxygen form oxyhemoglobin, that is liberated and diffuses into the cells, and the carbon dioxide in the cell, it will diffuse into the blood, and then it will be carried by the gills through the blood circulatory system, and that will get diffused into the water, and this process will go on continuously. Understood? Next, we will learn about respiration in human beings. Human beings are land animals, terrestrial animals. The respiratory system includes respiratory tract and lungs. If you have a book, see the picture of the respiratory system of the human. The nasal cavity or the nasal chamber, that is your nose, it will open into the pharynx posterior to the nostril, and the posterior part of both the nasal chamber is lined by ciliated mucous epithelium. Air which is entering into the passage, that will become moist, warm and dust free. The dust particles will get trapped in the mucus in the nose. Next, this air will travel after that to the pharynx. We will know about pharynx now. Pharynx is divided into three sections: nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx is that into which both the internal nostrils open. Oropharynx is that portion in which the mouth cavity opens, and laryngopharynx is that opening which lies behind the larynx. Larynx, what is larynx? The voice box, that is the sound producing organ. How it looks like? It's a hollow cartilaginous structure. Cartilaginous structure is made up of cartilage. Cartilage is a soft bone as it is present in your ear bones. Okay, the upper end of the windpipe, it is situated. It lies in front of the laryngopharynx, and there is elevation in the front called Adam's apple. You can see it is protruding cartilage in some people, especially males. It's coming protruding out. That is more prominent in the males. There is slit-like aperture in between the two elastic ligaments, which is covered by mucous membrane, a true vocal cord, we can say. Sound is produced. Why? How? Due to the vibration which is developed in the vocal cord during the process of expiration. Next, we will know about trachea. It is a thin-walled, long tube which is lined by ciliated epithelium, means epithelium where cilia is present. In the epithelium, goblet cells are present. C-shaped, incomplete cartilaginous rings are present. Why? To prevent the trachea from collapsing. It's running through the neck, which is extending from the larynx or voice box to the chest in front of the esophagus. After entering the chest, it is divided into two right and left primary bronchi. Mucus is secreted by the goblet cells. They also trap the dust and the bacteria. Lungs. How does the lungs look like? Soft conical structures which is located in the thoracic cavity. The left lung has 2 lobes, whereas the right lung has 3 lobes. This is completely new concept for many of you. The left lung has 2 lobes and the right lung has 3 lobes. There is serous membrane covering of the lung that is known as pleura. Understood? 2 primary bronchi are entering into the lungs of its own side on each side, and each bronchus of the lung is dividing and redividing to form many branches called bronchioles. The tertiary bronchioles, finally, they are dividing into more thinner tubes. Those are known as the terminal bronchioles. That terminal bronchiole is again further subdividing into respiratory bronchioles. And each respiratory bronchiole is giving rise to alveolar duct. Understood? And each alveolar duct terminates into atrium. In each atrium, 2 to 5 alveolar sacs are present, are opening. And each alveolar sac gives off minute thin walled chambers, which is known as alveoli. Alveoli is bounded by the blood capillaries. About 300 million alveoli are present in both the lungs. Understood? Now, diaphragm. Diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscular structure. If you have a book, you can see the picture of the diaphragm, that is in the mechanism of respiration picture. It's a dome-shaped muscular fibrous structure. It is separating the abdomen and the thorax. The diaphragm is composed of radiating muscle fiber which is attached to the center, that's a central tendon. During inspiration, when you are breathing in oxygen, when you are intaking oxygen, these muscles are contracting. These muscles are contracting and making the diaphragm flat. So, they are increasing the volume of the thoracic cavity so that more oxygen can enter within the body. Next, mechanism of breathing. In the process of breathing, the lung is expanding to take the air and then it is contracting to expel the air. Inspiration and expiration, 2 types of mechanisms are taking place during the process of breathing. First, inspiration. Inspiration is taking in, inhaling the air. During that, what happens? Inhale air, you see, taking in deep air. What is happening? The muscles which are attached to the ribs and the diaphragm, they are contracting together and they are increasing the volume of the thoracic cavity so that more air can enter within the lungs through the nostril. The alveolar sacs are therefore getting filled up with air. In the opposite way, when you are exhaling the air, when you are leaving out the air, then what is happening? The thoracic cavity is decreasing in volume, so the lungs is returning to its original size. Understood? Now, exchange of gases are taking place between the blood of the capillaries which are surrounding the alveoli and the air in the alveoli of the lungs. The oxygen is taken into the body and the carbon dioxide is eliminated. So this basically takes place in the alveoli. This gaseous exchange is taking place in the alveoli. And in the human beings, what is happening? When the blood is getting rich in oxygen, then we term it as oxyhemoglobin. When the blood is getting rich in carbon dioxide, then that type of blood is known as carboxyhemoglobin. Okay, hemoglobin in the presence of oxygen and another hemoglobin in the absence of oxygen. Now this carbon dioxide, which is liberated during the metabolic activities of the cell and is diffusing into the blood within the capillaries, that is transported from the tissues to the lungs. First, what is happening? The carbon dioxide, it will combine with the water of the blood plasma and will form carbonic acid, H2CO3. And this carbon dioxide will combine with hemoglobin and that will form carboxyhemoglobin. That hemoglobin where carbon dioxide is present. Now most of the carbon dioxide produced in the cell is due to the process of metabolism, and that will be carried in the form of bicarbonate to the lungs, and carbon dioxide will combine with the water of the red blood cell and they will form carbonic acid. Understood? So carbon dioxide of the blood will reach the lungs and will get liberated into the alveoli. Now have you ever seen an experiment when you are blowing air in lime juice? What happens? The lime juice turns milky. Why? Because the carbon dioxide is reacting with the lime juice and therefore it is making it milky. Take lime juice in your home. Do this experiment in your home. Science is full of tests. If you make more experiments, these are genuine experiments, you know. You can take lime juice, little amount of lime juice in a glass, take a straw and blow air through your mouth into the lime juice. See what happens. You will see that the lime water turns milky due to the presence of carbon dioxide. Understood? Till this much today. Read the chapter thoroughly. We will continue with the remaining portion in our next class. Thank you.